Hey everybody, welcome to Far Out Dudes.
It's another week, and we got another far-out conversation for you.
So hi, my name's Joseph.
Oh yeah, hey, I'm Paul.
This week.
Oh,
I'm
hi,
Jacob.
AJ.
Yeah, thanks for introducing us.
Jacob,
I
you went straight to let me see.
But Jacob's been saying that he's gonna have the most interesting, detailed stories for us for Far Out Dudes.
Well, I
And
got next
so-
Real
Far Out
interesting
Dudes, too,
stuff,
so-
dude. Real interesting stuff.
Be ready because we're diving deep and we're gonna have a lot of details. And,
Read from a book.
and then he doesn't have details.
I did have details. Y'all just didn't like that I was reading from a book.
You know, there was a story about Asians going into Uranus.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, this again.
So they
But,
were going to Uranus.
No, they're going in Uranus.
Like how? Well,
they're going in my anus.
So we haven't even gotten to the
I don't
moon.
remember
They haven't
that.
even gone to the. We haven't even gone to
No,
the
they
moon
saw
again.
Shh.
So
This one's
they-
bubblegum.
So we haven't even been back to the moon. But you're saying these Asians have been inside Uranus.
Well, they're going. Yeah, they've been inside Uranus because the Chinese wanted to beat us to Uranus.
So are you saying like they have physically been in Uranus, or you're saying that they've maybe taken a probe to go in Uranus?
Well, first they probed Uranus, and then they went. They took a ship and they docked inside Uranus, and they went through the
Wait, so why
gaseous
haven't
clouds
why haven't-
inside Uranus and finally penetrated to the ground.
Wait,
of
so
Uranus.
why haven't I seen anything about all the Asians? Like what country was
Well,
this?
they try to keep it on the down low
Which-
that they're going into Uranus.
Which country has gone to Uranus?
China has gone to Uranus.
So Asian men have
what
gone to
you're
Uranus.
So what you're saying is the Asian men in China have been to Uranus.
They've been to Uranus, yes.
They've probed and docked inside Uranus.
They probed, they docked inside Uranus. They did a little fill around inside Uranus, and they discovered
Polyps.
nice hard rocks inside Uranus, and they took them out of Uranus, and now they're just exploring the nice smoothness of Uranus.
I heard they discovered some polyps in Uranus. They're a
Wow.
little abnormal.
Yeah. Well, are they after the polyps and the rocks taken out of Uranus? Were they studying? Are they studying those polyps and rocks?
Yeah, they're studying the rocks they found in Uranus, and they're really fascinated.
But
with
wait.
Uranus.
But Uranus is very gaseous.
Yes.
You answer the question, Joseph.
Yes. What?
So
was
if
the question?
Uranus is very gaseous and the Asians were in there probing Uranus,
Uh-huh.
were they able to clear any gas out?
It depends on how deep they went.
Well, do you know if they went deep inside Uranus? Or
Uh,
were they did they land in Uranus?
The Chinese go
Why-
deep, boy.
I
in your
don't
anus.
know who goes inside my anus.
The Chinese been going deep
Wait,
inside your anus, boy.
Wait, what? We're talking about the planet Uranus.
Oh, the planet. Yeah, they go deep inside Uranus.
I don't
what?
know. I don't know
Whose
about
anus are we talking
I
about?
don't know about the Asians. I would think that they wouldn't be able to penetrate deep into Uranus.
Their rockets are small. I
They're-
heard they have like really
they have
small, compact.
genetically modified Chinese that really go deep into the anus.
So they've
Uranus.
created they've created larger probes
Yes,
to penetrate in Uranus.
to penetrate Uranus. We've been talking about Uranus this whole time.
Yeah.
And you've been just very quiet about us talking about Uranus.
Yeah.
About the probes,
I don't
about
feel very comfortable when people start talking about Uranus.
Why? What
It's
makes
just
you
a
uncomfortable
touchy
about
subject.
Uranus?
It's full of polyps, bad gases. It's just not somewhere you want to be. I
Well,
feel like why
how do
would
you
you
even land on Uranus? Isn't it just
Typically-
empty?
Typically, people go down.
Is it just literally a ball of gas?
Yeah.
Typically, people like to go down a little further to Venus,
Yeah.
Down a little
which
further.
is just below Uranus.
Oh, okay.
oh.
I see where you're going with this.
So I read a little news article too. When they came back from Uranus, there were particles stuck on their rockets that they had to make sure they got off.
Ooh.
They
Because
really
they didn't want to.
That must
When
have
they re-enter,
It was weird
they didn't
because
want it to
when they went
catch.
to Uranus, the particles smelled like shit.
very sulfurous smelling particles left on the phallic shaped rocket
Wow.
that penetrated
Yeah,
the outer atmosphere. of
Uranus wasn't used to being probed so much that they got a little bit of blood. They got a little bit of
Are you
red matter. On
why would there be blood or red matter coming from Uranus if it's just gaseous?
They had a little bit of
because when they
blood.
penetrated with the probe, they didn't realize they were penetrating so fast that the chemical reactions
there wasn't enough lubricants on the engines to make sure it passed through Uranus soft and kind of smoothly. They didn't lubricate enough, so it kind of tore some of the protective material off.
Why would they lubricate a probe going into Uranus?
Because they want the aerodynamics to be so good. They wanted, have you ever tried to catch a guy that's all oiled up?
Here's the thing.
You can't catch them because they're so slippery.
When they've built rocket ships to go to the outer orbits or to the moon, there was never any lubrication on the ships. Why would they put lubrication on this particular ship to go into Uranus? Why didn't they just go into it dry like the rest of them?
Because Uranus is gaseous and doesn't naturally produce the gravity, the lubrication that it needs, like, say, the moon.
I've never heard any scientist talk about any lubrication needed to go into Uranus.
Well, because you're not as advanced in the studies of Uranus like I am.
The European Union and us to where we're going to create kind of a sheath of material that goes over the rockets. So the lubrication would be necessary. You can just you put the sheath on, it rolls onto the rocket.
Yes.
Oh, it's going to be like
it's like a plastic cover.
It's going to be like a nice, smooth, silky.
It's gonna be ribbed in some areas so when the particles try to get
but it's gonna
there.
so it's gonna be like a stretchy material to go over the probe that's gonna go into Uranus.
Correct. So and it's ribbed in some specific areas. So when the probe descends into Uranus, the particles that sometimes get stuck on the rocket would deflect off of these ribs. And when they pull out of Uranus, they can pull the sheath off at the same time.
Okay, so the probe won't have all of that material.
Yeah,
and
that
product.
sulfurous materials that get stuck onto, say,
so
natural
AJ,
lubricated rocket ship.
So I got a question for our guest AJ, who's here and has been pretty quiet throughout this planet, this discussion.
Uranus.
So does he like to say Uranus?
AJ, in school, did they teach you about Uranus?
Or did you find out about Uranus on your own?
Or did you probe the aspects of Uranus on your own?
I actually found about Uranus on my own.
Really? No one helped? Did you have another person help you find Uranus? Or you just learned about Uranus on your own?
So the teacher didn't help you explore into more information about Uranus?
No.
Okay.
I had to learn
well,
about it myself.
that's good. I mean, you figured out Uranus on your own.
Yeah, I figured out Uranus.
What have you
discovered?
Material have you discovered about Uranus? Is there anything that you like?
Is there anything that you don't like about Uranus?
It's not inhabitable. You can't like Mars. You can't really.
Yeah.
So you think Mars is
habitable?
Habitable?
Where it could be.
And Uranus is not somewhere where somebody can live.
Not at all. Not at all.
Is it because it's gaseous?
Mm-hmm. It smells very bad over there too.
Is there anything you like?
How do you know
Uranus?
that it smells bad though?
Because
it's a planet.
Have you ever seen that meme with the guy that has a thing he has a thing that smells?
Yeah, that's from it's from
Futurama,
yeah.
but it's also real. And AJ built one of those machines so he can smell Uranus.
Oh, is that
so
what
that
you
way,
did?
no matter where you are, you can always smell Uranus.
Explain to the
why does that matter where I am? No matter where you are, he can smell Uranus. Okay. Why does it matter where I am?
Yeah, we're talking about the planet, not me.
Yeah, wherever you are, you can smell.
Uranus.
It doesn't matter where. If you're in, it doesn't matter. He's smelling the planet Uranus.
Well, but what does it matter where I am?
Why did you mention me at all? It doesn't matter where you are. He can smell Uranus.
Finish your drink.
All right.
So listen. Imagine one of those big old giant smell things, and some guy just sniffing around for Uranus.
How would you like that? How would you like some guy just poking around sniffing for Uranus?
I don't think I would like that very much.
Have you ever seen anybody trying to poke around and sniff for Uranus?
No, I haven't.
Well, that's probably because they're sneaky about it. when they poke around.
They're snuff Uranus sniffers.
Yeah. Sometimes they're in the bushes, I hear.
Some
they're sniffing for
Well,
Uranus.
a lot of people
I
love
was on
sniffing
Facebook
Uranus.
trying to find a Uranus sniffer group.
Yeah.
I just kept coming across anus sniffers.
Well, that's weird.
I found Sniff Uranus, but it
Well,
was a whole. It was
Yeah, on
a
Craigslist,
whole-
there's a lot of dudes that'll sniff Uranus.
But did you find any that would look through a telescope into Uranus?
There's one guy who said,
Honestly-
"Hey, I have multiple pictures of Uranus. Do you want to see them kind of close up?" And I was like, "Let's do it!" Like,
Awesome.
I paid him $100 to take pictures of
Uranus?
Yeah,
What?
not my anus. Uranus.
Yeah, some dude.
Okay.
I did the same exact thing, and then he told me to get naked, and I was like, "We need to get naked to take pictures of Uranus. Where's the telescope?"
Yeah.
And then he
He's
just
like this.
he brought like this camera that had like a 5-foot long magnifying lens, and he was like, "Just stick Uranus right on top of the lens."
How would you stick Uranus? It's a planet.
No, he
At
was
the end
talking
of the
about
lens.
my anus.
Oh, your anus.
Yes, I have a picture of my
so
butt,
he's
my butthole.
so he meant your anus, not the planet Uranus.
Yes. And
Sometimes
that's why,
Uranus is
and
big
that's
as
why
a
you need to.
planet.
This is a.
I feel like
PSA.
this is going in a weird direction. I want to go
but
back to the
just-
planet Uranus.
I'm just throwing this out there. You got to be careful because there's
With
a lot of
wording,
weird guys
yeah.
up there with very large cameras.
So if you're
that'll
gonna
try to take pictures,
So
of
if you're gonna do more research on Uranus, make sure that if you're gonna go on Craigslist or where did you go?
Facebook group.
Facebook stuff. Make sure you're emphasizing the planet Uranus, so that way they understand that when you speak of a gaseous place, something that can be probed and
you know, one
understood
thing
better.
I didn't realize, looking through, a telescope or something, I didn't realize how big Uranus was.
It's a pretty Uranus is pretty huge. Wait, how big is Uranus, Jacob?
Uranus is probably about. Give me 1 second. I'm getting the dimensions. It has a radius of 25,362 kilometers.
So
Yeah.
which
So you have a very large Uranus
on a scale from so on a scale from so on a scale from 1 to 10 or 1 to 9, right? Because there's 9 planets. On a scale from 1 to 9, how big is it?
I'm gonna say it's about.
Is
I would say it's about a 7 or 6 or 7.
so it's number 7 on the scale? Uranus.
Let me see.
You have a very large. You have a very large.
He said you have a very large Uranus. Let's keep this professional and on the planet, Jacob. Okay.
I am.
So so on the planet scale, right? Because there's 9 planets.
Yeah.
yes.
On Uranus, how big is Uranus?
It's about. I want to say it's about 8 or. It's 6, 7, or 8.
Can you look that up?
How big is Uranus?
Can you
6, 7, or 8?
How
Okay, cool.
big
Is
is Uranus?
You know what? We should have did a little more research on Uranus.
Yeah, we should have done it.
what I'll do is
I'm glad we're looking into Uranus right now.
It's the
Yeah.
third biggest.
Oh, okay.
Uranus.
Oh, that's pretty big. That's a big Uranus.
Yeah. Planet. This is a big planet.
Yes.
Yes. Uranus.
Uranus.
What?
Well,
Uranus is slightly
it's
larger.
funny.
than
I'm a little
Neptune.
dyslexic, so I really meant Uranus is a really big planet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
You said it's slightly bigger than Neptune?
You know, Uranus has an orbital period of 84 years.
I didn't know my anus. Uranus. I didn't know Uranus had periods.
How big is Uranus from space.com? The 7th planet from the sun, Uranus, is larger of the ice giants. The blue body contains an icy atmosphere like Neptune, differs dramatically from other larger planets.
Wait, so
Uranus
Oh.
and Neptune are really unique in our solar
So
system.
are you saying Uranus is not warm? It's cold.
It's very cold in there.
Okay, so
Wow.
Uranus is cold and blue.
yes.
So it's
Okay.
not. So is it gaseous or icy?
It's icy.
So it's not as gaseous as you said
See,
it was.
That's why I like digging into Uranus more.
Yeah.
You find out new
I'm-
things.
you
and
know what?
Just little crevices you look into.
I'm
you
glad-
find new things.
I'm glad we're going deeper into Uranus.
Agreed.
That way,
Well,
so we can understand better.
If there's one thing, if there's one thing that's really fun to kind of get into and get real deep, is Uranus.
Yeah.
Well, Uranus is, if you dig deep past the hydrogen, helium, and methane gases inside Uranus, you get to a water mantle and methane ices.
So there's liquid in Uranus.
Yes, there is liquid in Uranus. And if
Wow.
you dig a little bit further and you go to the core of Uranus, you get silicate.
Wow. Uranus is deep, man.
You can go really deep.
Uranus has layers. I didn't realize how many layers Uranus has. It's just like a blue crusty outside, and you go a little deeper. There's some nice liquid, and then a little deeper you get the what is it, silicate?
Yeah, it's actually pretty brown, the silicate.
Wow,
Really?
So you start off on a gray.
Oh, it almost look when you look at that picture, it almost looks like Uranus has a brown eye.
It does have a brown eye, except that
Show
we call it a core
AJ the
instead of
brown
an
eye from that diagram.
Okay,
from Uranus.
AJ, come step around. Look at this brown eye.
Just turn your screen around so he can see the brown eye from Uranus.
Okay, hold on.
Uranus literally has a brown eye. I guess a brown core.
a brown core. Yeah.
Yes.
So turn around and take a look at Uranus.
Now show him the other diagram of the planet Uranus.
Okay.
There you go. You see the brown core of Uranus?
I do.
So Uranus has a brown core to it.
Yes.
It's
Good thing I did not look at what y'all looked at.
yeah. So it's interesting. Uranus is just an interesting topic, interesting planet. It's always good to dig deep into Uranus compared to like Pluto.
That
Or-
example picture showed a very watery Uranus.
You know what? You know, for some reason I always thought that Uranus had rings on it.
No, that's Saturn.
I'm gonna go just so
But
to get more to get more information. I'm gonna go home and take a look at more pictures of Uranus, see if there's better quality pictures.
Uranus might have some rings sometimes.
Yeah. But
I'm gonna get a big poster of Uranus and hang it in my room.
wait, what was the NASA picture? What was it called again? The Allen or what is it?
James Webb.
James Webb Camp. So I've
James Webb Camp.
Yeah, James webcam is gonna look at Uranus.
James's webcam has a straight eye on Uranus.
so that's gonna be interesting if that
You
James
can actually
webcam.
pay money for James to view Uranus.
Well, no, the NASA camera, the James Webb Cam,
Yeah.
it's pretty interesting that I can't wait. They've taken such good pictures of the universe. I can't wait till
They've
they
got
get
one
that
of Jupiter.
that
You know,
real,
it's funny
that
they-
can you let me finish?
Okay.
That real clear picture from James Webb Cam's picture of Uranus. Like it's gonna be so detailed that you're gonna see Uranus so clear.
Well, that picture that I brought up showed a really zoomed in, moist picture of Uranus.
Moist.
Yeah, it was very
Explain
moist.
the
oh,
moist.
to where you can see the liquid
Yes.
in Uranus. Okay.
Yes.
Wow. So what you're
But it's kind of funny the James Webb telescope hasn't taken any pictures of Uranus.
wait, it's
yet.
a James Webb telescope or is it a camera?
It's a telescope.
It's a cam show website, right? Where you view Uranus.
Well, I thought that's what
Oh, there might be a live feed to where you can just take a look at Uranus at any time.
from the James Webb Cam.
Yeah,
So
I think so.
is there like a website that you can look up the James Webb Cam and
go
you can look
to-
at Uranus?
Go to Uranus.com.
Type
Let
that.
me type that.
Type in the James Webb Cam into Google, Jacob,
How to find Uranus.
and see if they have Uranus posted.
Yeah, look up videos.
I'm going to
of-
Uranus.com. Let's see what that brings up. Oh, it's free. You can register the domain.
Oh, cool.
Uranus.com.
Awesome.
So
I'm
if you're
gonna get.
interested in buying that-
I'm gonna get that domain. I'm just gonna put a bunch of pictures,
Of
large
Uranus.
and small, different shades.
And
of
we should let
Uranus.
them know, like, you should actually put a lot of descriptions, like when it was first penetrated, how they discovered all the
don't
gaseous
think-
things
I
in
don't think-
in
I don't think a
Uranus.
probe has penetrated.
But Jacob
All
said,
right, I entered my
Oh, yeah, that's
information
right.
to buy Uranus.com, and I'm going to get a price.
Jacob said that there was a bunch of Asians in Uranus.
Oh,
Well, they're not. They're not in Uranus. They're probing Uranus.
So they're not physically in Uranus. It's just a probe in Uranus.
No, they're not in there because then they'd be in the brown hole.
They'd
They're
be
just
probably
probing Uranus.
Wait, so
and they're on the surface.
Wait, I'm a little confused.
after the surface crust of Uranus, you get to the liquid part of Uranus,
Yes,
right? So that's
yes.
probably where they'd probably land the probe. As far deep as it can go is the liquid part of Uranus.
So
you
what
get
you're
into
saying,
the brown part, the
they've-
silicon.
So you're saying they've
That's
reached
unsafe.
they've reached the brown part of Uranus.
No, they haven't reached.
They
the brown
haven't.
part.
Oh, they
haven't
haven't
gone
reached it.
deep enough into Uranus.
So they're only
to
getting
reach
to the
the brown.
smooth icy part.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, the probe. You're right. Their probes aren't that large, so they're not getting to the brown
So
part.
do you think that brown part ever pokes through a little?
I mean,
To the
sometimes
surface
the pressure
of Uranus?
squeezes the brown part out,
Uh-huh.
and it kind of prairie dogs there, but then it gets sucked back in.
Yeah, and also the probes sometimes.
So
a
the-
couple of their probes at the beginning had a hard time getting through the crusty icy layer.
It's an icy
top.
layer, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's interesting. I wonder how often the brown
Core.
core
Mhm.
makes it out onto the surface of Uranus.
Not very often. Not very.
I think
often.
sometimes, like Jacob said, there's some pressure that pushes on it.
Uh-huh.
I guess sometimes like the revolution that it takes around the sun or whatever,
So
it kind of pulls the brown out
Yeah,
a
the
little
gravity.
So do you think that it comes out as just a solid like ball coming out of your
It-
Uranus,
it
or do you
depends.
think it's like a tubular?
It varies. It varies.
Like kind of like
Sometimes
a
it's
like
splattery.
maybe
It
like a
splatters
like
out.
log shape coming out of
Yeah,
Uranus?
sometimes it's log. Sometimes it's like tiny little rabbit nuggets that come out,
Mm.
and sometimes just really splattery.
And that's
Well, because
where, that's
what's
where the
the-
probe comes
Wait,
out
wait.
too.
So the core.
That's where that probe came out too, and it's got the brown particles on
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
from
Yep.
the silicon. They have
Wait,
to,
so is
they have to
the
clean
is
it
the
off.
core a
Uh-huh.
gaseous
Before
thing or is it a
re-entry.
solid?
It's a solid.
Okay, so there's a brown solid in Uranus.
Yes,
Okay.
that is a scientific fact. You can look it up. It's on Wikipedia.
Is it a big brown solid?
No, it's not
in
big and brown.
Uranus?
It's a round ball. It's a round brown ball.
Oh, it's round ball
inside
balls.
Uranus.
Okay. Is there multiple balls or just one solid
it's
ball?
just one solid.
It's just one
thick.
solid big brown ball inside Uranus.
Okay.
It is just constantly turning around with Uranus.
Oh, it's mobile. It moves inside Uranus.
Just like the Earth's core,
Mhm.
Uranus, in the middle of it is that brown core. Sometimes, like Jacob says, sometimes it's liquid, depending on the revolution around the sun.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes it's hard as a rock, and sometimes it gets real liquid.
Mm.
And so that's where the probing, they got to be careful not to go in too
So
deep
what
when
you're
it's
saying-
liquid.
So what you're saying is what
To where
comes
the
in
pressure
and
will
out
push
of
out.
what comes out of Uranus sometimes can be different forms. You have the gaseous coming out of Uranus.
Mhm.
You have the solids coming out of Uranus,
Uh-huh.
and then you have
Liquids.
also liquids
Yeah.
coming out of Uranus.
Well, it's different levels of Uranus too.
okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's just
Wow, that's gonna be interesting once they bring some of that bring that probe back from Uranus and see what kind of material they found. What do you think, AJ? Do you think they're gonna find anything interesting in Uranus?
Do you think it's legal to go inside Uranus?
I don't
or
think
do you think what the Chinese
I
are
don't
doing
think it's
is
legal to
illegal?
go into
yeah.
Uranus.
What's the
So you think the Chinese are doing it
Yeah, I think-
illegally
yeah, I
in
think they're doing it
Uranus?
yeah.
ethically would it be ethical to probe Uranus
I-
without any prior kind of consent from anyone else?
I would say because it's China, they're probably doing everything unethical. I mean, I think they're okay with probing any planet, and just are probably going in Uranus without any
I
consent.
really like how you caught yourself there.
They're probably not getting any consent from anybody about going into Uranus.
And can I
That's
just
true.
jump in and say all this talk about Uranus is getting me pretty hungry. Kind of funny because
Can you imagine what Uranus tastes like? Like just getting out there and tasting the hard crusty bits, and maybe some of the liquid in Uranus.
Do you think it's kind of like how you can taste like gaseous things in on Earth? Like you would be able to taste the gaseous material from Uranus?
Maybe.
So this s'more thing,
Do you think you'd be able to stick out and press your tongue against Uranus?
no, because it's a lot. It's gaseous, right? It wouldn't be till you got to the center.
But that's what I'm saying. Would you be able to? Stick
Maybe
your
the
tongue
maybe
against
the
it?
crusty icy parts on the outside.
Or would your tongue just go straight through it?
It will go straight through until you hit the solid brown part.
That's
of
probably
Uranus.
true. That's probably true.
I guess we'll talk about another topic since you're saying that we've already kind of stretched the topic of Uranus already.
It's so loose now that we can just go in so many directions of Uranus. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. And we stretched it out so much, we already blew our whole load on Uranus that we're just ready to move past.
So you had a whole load of topics on Uranus, and we've already
blown our load on the topics of Uranus.
Your whole load has been blown on Uranus already.
Yep.
Yeah. I think we've each just kind of gotten our whole load and just put it all on Uranus.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Who knew that you would like, 4 of us?
I mean, who knew
Uranus?
we'd go into such a scientific direction?
Did you just say
Uranus?
that you would like?
No, I said who
guys?
would have known that us 4, that you would have liked us diving deep into Uranus like that for an hour?
I would have to say I think it was a great topic. I mean, even AJ enjoyed going deep into Uranus.
Yeah. I never thought AJ would have been like.
I thought I was going to
take an interest in Uranus so much.
I think at this point though, I'm getting a little bored with Uranus.
Yeah. Well, it's been over an hour.
I think we've at the risk of sounding too redundant, we've used up Uranus.
Yeah.
And we need to move past this topic already.
That topic really,
stinky.
Uranus is definitely taking a beating on this.
Yeah. Well, not so much. It's just been worked over so much.
Yeah.
We've done some damage to Uranus.
Looking at pictures of Uranus, videos of Uranus,
smelling Uranus,
wondering how Uranus smells,
wondering if we could lick
and taste.
I mean, you literally understand the inside of Uranus now.
Yeah.
For the listeners,
I can say that I kind of knew surface level of Uranus, but after, digging deep as we did and looking at pictures, Uranus has become like one of my top subjects.
I'm almost thinking, like, since we've been talking about it almost this entire podcast,
Mm-hmm.
what should the episode be called? Going into Uranus or
diving deep into Uranus?
Diving deep into Uranus.
I think it should be going into Uranus
or going into Uranus.
Yeah.
Well, I might go home and look at more photos of Uranus. Just saying.
I kind of just like looking at Uranus just casually when I'm at work. I actually have my screensaver as Uranus.
Wow, it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
So
I think tonight when I'm in the tub,
well, I think
I'm just gonna start looking at Uranus.
Well, it's, my wife sometimes gets upset because I just literally lay there just looking at pictures of Uranus, and she's like, "Are you ever gonna stop looking at Uranus?" I was like, "Look, that's just my fetish. That I just like looking at Uranus."
I don't know if looking at Uranus would be considered a fetish.
It's kind of
sexualize Uranus.
I mean, it's something that I enjoy. I literally just lay in bed looking at a bunch of pictures of Uranus. All right, so we want to thank you all for listening. Like, subscribe, leave voice messages. Let us know if we've dug too deep into Uranus, and if you didn't like us talking about Uranus. See you next time.